So welcome back to Bush Poppy Farm, you guys. It's been a couple days, but we did finish putting the rocks in. I finished the irrigation on the garage side. So let me show you that. It's a little bit more of a mess just because I've got other plants sitting out here that are about to be planted, but the rocks are in, the plants are in, all the irrigation is in. So we are all set in this area. We did relocate the hose link a little bit further over so that it would spin easier for us. So this project is done. And speaking of irrigation, I have a problem with the irrigation in the front garden. I'm not sure what the problem is yet, but so we have our irrigation on a system we can control by our phones. And when I hit that zone, the system says that it's running, but it's actually not. And it's not even running from the valve where it's located. So it may be a solenoid issue, but it also might be something to do with the fact that last week, and I'll try to put a photo in here, when they were doing road work here all week, they opened up the road and hit 2 irrigation lines. Thankfully, the wire that was next to them that controls those lines was not severed. And they did fix them and put them back. But first question was, why are 2 of our irrigation lines underneath the actual roadway instead of on our property? So whoever put those in, I don't know. I can't figure that out. It was 2001 or whatever, but they did this extension on the house. So yeah, that's a problem, because if we ever have an issue with those pipes, we have to get permission from the city. They have to come out and break the roads apart for us to get at them. A terrible situation. So They did patch them because it was a pretty bad. It was really shredded. But how were they to know that there were irrigation pipes under the roadway? That makes no sense. But since then, I don't think that zone has run. So I'm going to hand water everything today and then try to figure out what the problem is. We have another zone in the back that is also not working. We think that's a broken, an old solenoid that needs to be replaced as well. So it might just be time to do that. So I might be trying to check that out today. But the other thing we're going to do is plant up a couple of containers and do some just basic garden maintenance. Need to do some more pruning on the tomatoes. There continues to be a lot of rodent destruction in the garden, and so I've lost the whole bean crop and of course all the peppers, and so it's kind of getting late in the season to put a whole bunch of new things in. I have started some corn and more beans by direct sow, and we'll just see if they come up. So, all right, I'm going to get started just watering. And that's kind of boring, so I won't bother to film that. But then I'll show you the plants that we have to plant up. I have 2 hanging baskets that I want to put on the outsides of the chicken coop, and I did this a couple of years ago. And they were great for a little while, but then they dried out quickly in one of our 100-degree days, and then the soil, I guess, just got hydrophobic. So no matter how many times I watered it, nothing happened, and those plants died. They were annuals, so it wasn't a huge deal, but I'm going to do this again, and hopefully this time I can keep the soil from drying out too much. I can't really run drip to it because they are high, and the drip in this garden runs out of pressure when it gets down towards the chicken coop area anyway, and to run that up, there's no way any water would go up those tubes. So I have to hand water them. Not a big deal as long as I can keep up with it. All right, I'm gonna get my watering done, and then we'll come back here and talk about what plants we have for potting up. Okay, we're out here in the garden, and I'm feeling quite at a loss. I am completely losing the battle to the rats, you guys. I don't know what to do. I've got traps everywhere. There must be 24 snap traps out here, in addition to bait with peanut butter and baking soda, which apparently blows up in their stomach and kills them. But literally overnight, so on Tuesday, I put 50 pounds of chicken feed into the chicken silo, which is up on tall legs, and today it's gone. All gone. And chickens, that takes them like 3 weeks to get through 50 pounds of feed. This used to be corn. There were 24 heads of corn in here. It's all gone. There's one left, and that won't pollinate itself. So no corn this year. And then in this bed, even though there's some beautiful nasturtiums, every bean, every pepper has been eaten. And you've already seen this. I had bean plants all along here. They were beautiful. They were just flowering. Those are all gone as well. And that was all my peppers. Those are gone too. Now I have direct sown beans, and they are coming up, but I mean, I don't even know what to do anymore, you guys. So if you have advice, please give it. I literally overrun by rodents, and I don't know what else to do. The snap traps, I'm catching them, but it's not making a dent in the population at all. And the fruit, like the zucchini and stuff that is growing, I can't eat because they're taking small bites out of it, and that makes it unsafe and inedible. At this point, the only thing really surviving is the tomatoes, but that's only because they don't have any fruit on them yet. As soon as the fruit starts there, those will disappear as well. So I'm very frustrated. Gardening is not at all fun this year. Yeah, I know this is not very uplifting content. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say. Chickens are doing well. They are enjoying themselves, doing lots of scratching. I gave them some watermelon because it was kind of getting mushy. You know, watermelon's not that great when it's kind of mushy. I was still fine, but it was kind of overripe. So they really enjoyed that. Normally by this time in the season, we've been hit into the 100 degrees and I've been needing to put ice and stuff in their water, but it's still very chilly, going down into the upper 40s at night still. This morning, today, our high is 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is absolutely gorgeous for us, but not so great for things that like heat to grow. So, all right. I'm going to do a little bit of gardening maintenance on the tomatoes. I do have beans that I direct sowed that are popping up in here. I just don't know how long they're going to stick around. I'm going to grab a bunch of my cloches and put some cloches down. However, those, they only keep them out for a little while because they can dig right under. And it's a little tough on them during the day because it gets too hot. So I think it's going to be one of those where I have to come out in the evenings, cover as many as I can with cloches, and then uncover them in the morning. Same thing with the chickens. Only put out as much food as they can eat during the day, and then put the rest of it away at night. So robbing them of their food source, but with everything planted in the garden, it doesn't really matter. There's still plenty of food here. So, okay, let's get started on these tomatoes, and let me show you. This part of the garden is actually looking really lovely. So I'm just loving these marigolds are the only marigolds in the garden that haven't been eaten. Every other marigold that I planted, this happened to. So if they tell you that animals don't like the marigolds, that's clearly not true. But these particular marigolds, they seem to be leaving alone, at least for now. There's Eryngium in here, sea holly that is popping up from seed from last year, and I let it come up. It's a nice plant. But we are forming baby fruits everywhere here. I've been trying to keep trimming back the stems below the first fruits so that we can cut down on too much foliage and also keep the airflow nice and good through here. So what I need to do this morning is to go through and put one more row of Florida weave through, but it's looking good. We've got some decent looking tomatoes coming along. We just have to hope that I can keep them on the plants so that we can harvest them. What I have done for the last couple years is as soon as a tomato starts to show the tiniest bit of color, I harvest it and I let it ripen on my counter. That in general allows me to get a good harvest because the rodents don't want to eat green tomatoes. So as long as I can keep up with that, once these start, really pushing out some fruit, then we should be good. Now this back row never really does as well as the front row. And I think it's because this part of the garden is shaded longer in the morning, and it just doesn't get as much heat, which sounds crazy, but this is the east side of the garden, and so it doesn't ever do as well as this other side, but it's still going to give me fruit. And so I'm going to go through. This needs another row of twine as well, and then we can go play with some plants that are going to be going into containers. Okay, I apologize for the loud noises next door. There's always something going on here. What I have here is something I'm hoping will allow me to have the few apples that I've been lucky enough to get this year. Last year when they got about this big, there's one right here, and there are two down here, which I'll show you in a minute. Oh, a monarch just flew by. That was lovely. I put green organza bags on them, and it did keep them safe for a little while, but then the rats just chewed right through those bags. So this is gopher mesh. It's pretty expensive, but I got 2 boxes of this size, which is perfect for sliding in some fruit. And I'm gonna put it around some of my pumpkins and stuff too, some of the bigger ones. I'll probably get some bigger sizes because I want my pumpkins this year. So the way this works is you just, and I've never tried it this way before, but they can't chew through this. This is rodent proof. And so I'm hoping that because it's so big, it'll allow the apples to get a little bit bigger, but also that I'll actually get some apples harvest this year. So I have 3 on this tree, and I have 1 on another tree, and I want to protect them all. So all you got to do is slide the fruit in, and I want to kind of keep the leaves here because they protect it from sun scald. And then I'm just going to gather the bag like this and zip tie it. And then the bag is big enough that, yep, there we go. So the apple can keep growing in there, but the rats can't get into it and they can't pull that off. So I'm gonna do this other set of apples here, and then we'll go do the other one, and then I have a couple of squashes that are getting nice and big that I think I'm gonna go ahead and bag. I'll have to go up in size in the bags. They're not even squashes, I think. Well, this one is a winter squash, but I have some pumpkins too, and I don't want them to get eaten. So I think I'm gonna be investing in these. This will at least protect the fruits. I can't put it over a corn plant, but this is at least a chance. Okay, I don't know what type of squash this is. I think it's a type of kabocha. I had a tag on it, but that tag has since disappeared. It is going to get bigger, but I don't want them to start nibbling on it before it does that. So I'm gonna go ahead, ouch, and put this inside a bag just to protect it for the meantime. It can continue to grow, and I can always move it into a bigger bag later. So the nice thing too about these bags is because they are metal, they are reusable, and yeah, I could just keep using them year after year. There we go. Okay, so next project is to plant up these hanging baskets. Now, I got these a couple years ago. Filled them with the coir thing and had some pretty flowers in there. They did great for a little while, and then, like I said, we got hit with 100+ temperatures and it just dried out the soil and I could never get it to rehydrate. So now that I have a hose running out to the garden full time and I'm watering daily, I'm hoping that I can avoid that this time. So I've got new inserts because the old ones were pretty messed up, and I just felt like, why not just start fresh? So these are 12-inch inserts. And then for the plants that we're putting in here, we've got 2 varieties of Supertunia. This is Bordeaux, Supertunia Bordeaux. And this one is Supertunia Saffron Finch. So I like the purple and the yellow together. And then we're gonna add a spiller over the side. This is one of my favorite spillers. This is Dichondra Silver Falls, and it can go really crazy over the front. So I'm gonna fill these guys up with soil and get these planted, and then we will hang them next to the chicken coop. Okay, I have enough room in the back of each of these that I'm going to get one more plant to put in them before we hang them. But otherwise they're done. So I want to get something that's a little bit taller in the back. And these guys will get bigger, but not so big to fill in. There's enough space back there. So we're going to definitely fill those in with another plant that I'll get tomorrow. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do today, this area here is as you turn around to come to the walkway this way, it kind of sticks out. And at some point in the future, we will get rid of it, but that is a ways down the line. So that we have some continuity between the rocks on this side and this side, I'm going to pop these 3 heuchera in. These are the lime marmalade, and I got them because they're bright, in here, as long as I can avoid the roots from this redwood tree here. And then with the stones that we have left, we have quite a few left, so I won't even fill this whole area with it. I'm going to do kind of a curving edge of stone here surrounding these plants right on top of all of this mulch. Because we don't get weeds in here. It's shaded except for in the early morning. And I think that this bright spot will look nice as kind of a counterbalance to the other side before you head off down the pathway. Now I'm not going all the way. I'm just going to kind of have it be kind of a curved edge because we've got an azalea here, we've got an azalea there, and we've got some more mock orange back there, and then of course the tree. So as long as I can get a shovel in and get these guys in the ground, then I can move some stone over here and this part will be done. Well, it's done, and I think it looks really good. And those rocks, as you can see, when they get wet, they get dark and they have all kinds of really cool colors. So during the rainy season, I think it's gonna be quite pretty along here. But the reason I washed them off is that, as you can see, it's just full of dust. And so I washed them off so that we could have some actual color come back to them. And even the ones that are in the walkway now look more than just white. This is the reason we chose them. They have blues and grays and some reds in here, and they go pretty well with the lava stone on the outside as well as the pathway stone. So yeah, I still worry that everything is kind of invisible, but I've had a few people come and look and say that they really like it. They like it better than the previous, and I do too. I mean, I like it better than with the azaleas and stuff. Yeah, I mean, the stones I kind of wish were a little bit darker, but I'm happy with it. I'm glad the project's done. We meet the fire code requirements now, so all that's good. And we still have like 7 yards of wood chips that we need to put along the roadway, all the way down and around to act as weed abatement. But I am not going to be doing that job. The kids and Mike will be doing that job. It's not that hard to move wood chips, but I've got other stuff to do, and Dylan and I did all of the stone moving, so it's everybody else's turn now. Okay, so that's going to be it for me today, you guys. Tomorrow is Father's Day. we're going to be spending the day with Mike. He's at a bike race today in Portola, which is about 5 hours from here. So he'll be coming back sometime tomorrow midday, and then the rest of the day will be family time. So I will see you again on Monday. We have some containers that I was talking about to plant up in the back where we've got pansies and stuff that are just dying and violas that need to go because they won't be able to deal with the summer heat. We'll be replacing those and we can get an update on how things are going in the cottage garden. So until then, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden. Be safe out there. Take good care of yourself and your neighbors, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.